Welcome, dear viewers, to another spine-chilling episode where we uncover terrifying true horror stories. Tonight, I bring you 3 disturbing tales of people who found themselves alone at home, only to realize they weren't truly alone. So, turn off the lights, grab your blanket, and prepare yourself for a nightmarish journey into the unknown. Let's begin. It was a stormy night when Olivia, a 22-year-old college student, was left alone in her parents' house for the weekend. She loved having the place to herself, peace, quiet, and a chance to binge-watch her favorite shows without interruption. As the rain poured heavily outside, Olivia curled up on the couch with a bowl of popcorn, enjoying her night. But as the wind howled through the windows, she heard something else, something faint, a shuffling sound coming from upstairs. At first, she dismissed it as her imagination, but as she muted the TV, the sound became clearer. It was the distinct creaking of floorboards. Olivia's heart pounded. She was certain she had locked all the doors and windows. Grabbing her phone, she tiptoed to the staircase and called out, "Hello? Is someone there?" Silence. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed from her bedroom. Frozen with fear, Olivia considered running outside, but the storm made it impossible. Instead, she grabbed a kitchen knife and slowly made her way upstairs. As she reached her room, she noticed something horrifying. The closet door was slightly open. She was sure she had closed it before. With shaky hands, she pulled it open. A man stood inside, his eyes wide, his face gaunt and dirty. Before Olivia could scream, he lunged at her. In a rush of adrenaline, she slashed at him with the knife, cutting his arm. He let out a guttural growl and bolted past her, fleeing down the stairs and out the back door. The police later discovered that the man had been living in the attic. For weeks, surviving on food Olivia had unknowingly left behind. The thought of him watching her, hiding in the shadows, sent shivers down her spine. Even after moving out of her parents' home, she found herself waking in the middle of the night, checking every corner of her new apartment, unable to shake the paranoia that someone might still be watching. James had always been skeptical about horror stories. That was until one fateful night when he was home alone, and something happened that changed his life forever. It was past midnight when James heard knocking at the door. He hesitated. Who would be visiting at this hour? Looking through the peephole, he saw a man in a hoodie standing motionless on his porch, his face hidden in the shadows. "Can I help you?" James called out. The man didn't respond. He just stood there, breathing heavily. A chill ran down James's spine. Something was wrong. He slowly backed away from the door. But then, bang! The man pounded on the door with such force that it shook the frame. James grabbed his phone to call 911, but before he could dial, he heard the sound of a window sliding open. His bedroom window. Panicking, James rushed to the room, but it was too late. The man was already inside, standing by the window, grinning. He held a knife. James had no choice. He sprinted to the kitchen, grabbed the heaviest pan he could find, and swung it as hard as he could when the man approached. The intruder collapsed, unconscious. The police arrived minutes later, arresting the man. It turned out he had been targeting homes where people were alone, lurking outside for hours before making his move. James never slept without locking every window and door again. Even after moving into a high-security building, he kept extra locks on his windows, convinced that one day another stranger would return, waiting for the right moment to strike. Sophia had just moved into her new apartment. It was old but charming, and the price was too good to pass up. The only thing that made her uneasy was the basement. It was cold, damp, and had an eerie feeling. For weeks she ignored it. But one night, strange things started happening. Food went missing, the fridge door was left open, and she often felt like she was being watched. Then one evening, she came home late and noticed something off. Her bedroom door was ajar. She always closed it before leaving. Cautiously, she checked every room, but nothing seemed out of place. Then, as she entered the kitchen, she saw muddy footprints leading to the basement door. Her stomach dropped. She grabbed a flashlight and slowly descended the creaky steps. As she reached the bottom, she gasped. A makeshift bed, empty food wrappers, and worst of all, a notebook filled with detailed notes about her daily routine. That's when she heard breathing right behind her. Turning around, she saw a man standing in the shadows, his face partially obscured. He had been living in her basement the entire time. Sophia ran for her life, locking the door behind her and calling the police. When they arrived, they found a hidden entrance in the basement wall, leading to a small crawl space where the man had been sleeping. Sophia moved out immediately. But to this day, she can't shake the feeling that someone, somewhere, is still watching her. She double-checks the locks every night, unable to erase the memory of his piercing eyes staring at her from the darkened corner of her basement. These terrifying stories remind us that sometimes the things we fear in the dark might actually be real. So the next time you hear an unusual sound at night, or get the feeling that you're being watched, remember, you might not be alone after all. Perhaps it's nothing, or perhaps there's someone in your home right now, just waiting for the right moment to step out of the shadows. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more spine-chilling tales, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your support helps keep these stories alive. Stay safe and keep your doors locked. Until next time,